What's going on, guys? The Barber Phil here, back again with another haircut tutorial. Now, if you tuned into my last video, first off, I appreciate you for that. Second off, you probably remember me mentioning that I was a little under the weather. I am back. I am better. We're going to get right into this. Non-COVID related, just FYI. So I don't want any rumors getting spread or nothing like that. So let's get right into this tutorial. Alright guys, so let's get right into this one. We're going to start things off with the metal magic clip and a 6-guard closed, and we're going to just run this in every different direction that we possibly can. I did pick his hair out at first just to make sure everything, all the tangles were out, everything was at its fullest length. We're going to run this through here. His particular hair texture, if you use the curl sponge at the end, his hair will curl back up, so that's why we're able to go with as short as we are. Now what I'm going to do after that, comb all that hair down, brush it down, make sure that hair is in place where it needs to be, kind of brush up that length up top, get it out of the way. And then we're going to use our cordless detailer. We're going to set that bald line in, bottom of the C cup, just over the top of his ear, drop it down just a tad bit. He does have that point back in the occipital bone in the back. That's why we're going to drop it a little bit, and we're going to flick that line out immediately. Now we're going to come in. We've got a no guard on here. This is an open lever using that Oster fast feed blade. And we're going to make about a 3/4 of an inch to maybe an inch in the back, because there is a little bit more surface area to work with back there. And then from there, we can go ahead and start fading this line out. So this is the cordless magic clip that I have with the Filthy Mod and the Andy's Master Blade. I have this the blade on here 0 gap. That's why I'm able to immediately flick out that detailer line at the bottom, and then as I open that lever, I can go up through here with an open no guard, and that should blend right into that open section that we just did with that Oster fast feed blade, and it's a nice seamless transition. Now we're going to be able to come in here. I'm going to start doing a little bit of debulking. We're going to start things off with the 3-guard, and I do believe I have this closed. All we're doing is kind of slowly coming through the middle of that fade and really flicking out once it gets to the weight and the curls from the top. We're just wanting to make sure that this side is debulked as best we can, and we also want there to not be a big shelf or a hangover at that parietal ridge area. Now I have switched over to a 2-guard. I'm going with this lever all the way closed from the start. And this is the 0 gap clipper, so it's probably actually cutting a tad bit closer than a standard 2-guard closed, but I do keep that in mind. You know, just adjust with your clipper set and how you have your clippers gapped and stuff like that. We switched over to the 1-guard. We have that open, and we're fading down as always. We're going to flick that open 1-guard into where we left off at for that 2-guard. We're going to go about halfway to 3/4 of the way up through there, and then as we drop down more and more, we'll just slowly close that lever up. And you can tell it's almost blended out right now as it is. This is the 0-guard with the Andy's purple guard set. Personally, this is not my favorite guard. The newer Andy's purple half, it's rounded at the end. It gets the job done, but I definitely prefer the old 0-guard better. And if they make a better half guard in that Andy's purple guard set, I definitely will be on the lookout for that. So we went ahead, took the FXs, put that C cup in there. Now what I've got is a closed 3-guard again. We're just kind of going back through here one more time, trying to detail this section between the shorter hair below and the fade, and then that the longer hair and the curls up top. Now I switched over to a 2-guard. Just one more time, really flicking through here, making sure that we soften that up just a tad bit, and then we will come back in with the 1-guard just below that. You can see there's a little line there that has kind of shown itself, so we're going to open that lever up all the way, flick it up through there. If we need to, you can slowly close that lever up and really pinpoint that spot. So of course the same steps apply to this side as they do on the other side. Go ahead and take that detailer, tap that bald line in where you want it, match it up with the other side, flip it over, flick that line out. You can use the FXs to go ahead and bald it all the way out. And then now I have my open clipper. We're going to create that 3/4 of an inch or so open section coming up from just below where that FX line was put in, where the detailer line was put in, and then from there you'll go up about 3/4 of an inch. Now I've got my clipper that is more zero gapped. We're going to immediately close it, flick out that bottom line, and then we're going to slowly open it up as we work up through this open section until this clipper is all the way open, and that should ultimately blend out this full open section here. So you're going to have FX through the detailer, through a closed no guard, through an open no guard. Now I did go ahead, I skipped the 3 guard on this side. We went right into it with the 2 guard. I have it closed and we're just coming through here. This is about almost 1.5 inch, 2 inch, not even necessarily a section. We're really wanting to just kind of debulk the sides. Make sure that you're flicking out there at the top. Once you get to the longer curls up top. This is, I believe, the 1.5. A lot of times if you go up against the growth of the hair with, like, say, a 2 guard, you can come down against the growth of the hair with a guard that's a tad bit shorter, because it's not going to cut the same. When you're going with the growth of the hair, it's going to cut, it's going to leave it longer. So you would drop down a guard to kind of match that length up a little bit. But what we did there, we came in, the 1 guard, started with it open, and then you can slowly close it as you start working your way down. As you can see, we've almost got this side already blended out. We're just going to use the 0 guard. And like I mentioned, this particular 0 guard, it's not necessarily my favorite. I can hear the hair getting cut. I just don't like the way that it feeds the hair. For some reason, it's just not my favorite. So we will come back in, take the guard off, use that wide open lever, pinpoint those spots in that fade there from the open section into that 1, just to kind of detail that out a little bit more. And then from there, we will get right into debulking that perimeter one last time, just to make sure that we have a seamless transition. We're going to do that using that 2 guard, and I did put this on the open clipper now, so this is going to cut a little bit closer to what an actual 2 guard is, maybe even a little bit longer than a 2 guard, because this clipper is all the way open. So we're really just trying to debulk that. We don't want any shelf or anything like that, but we also know that when we use that curl sponge, most of this is still going to curl, so it's gonna have a nice look to it. It's going to have a nice shape to it, and that's ultimately what we're going for. So we're going to go ahead, pick up the FXs again, and remember guys, as always with lineups and the vertical bar and C-cups, symmetry is key. You want to make sure that you pick those reference points, match those vertical bars on both sides, make sure that the curvature on your C-cups are the same as best you can with your hair, the client's hair, and how it grows, the hair pattern. Some C-cups might be lighter on one side than the other. Just pay attention to it, do the absolute best that you can. Now what we're going to do here, I took the hairpins, I combed the length up from the top, and then everything that fell down below that is the hair that's able to be cut. Now we're not going to take this all the way up, obviously, to his actual hairline. We're going to add some spritz. This is a little bit of medium brown hair fibers. All I'm trying to do here is just to darken up behind this lineup, just to make it more visible. And so we're going to add a little bit of hairspray, lock those fibers in, take the blow dryer, make sure that that hairspray is dry so that we don't really gunk up our trimmers, and then we're going to get right into this lineup. So we started in the center of our client's head and we worked over towards our left, his right. We redid the C-cup just to make sure that it was nice and sharp. Now we're trying to match up that front hairline down by having a nice crisp vertical bar, Now we're going to come back to the middle and we're going to work our way over towards the right. Now one thing I did do here that I end up correcting is I did take my thumb and stretch the hair at the top there out, almost like I was using a razor. And what that did was when I released his hair, you can tell that this right side is a little bit lower and that vertical bar is not very sharp. So that's what we're going to do right here. Come in, make sure that we use the comb, make sure we're combing the hair down consistently, and we'll make sure that we have a nice clear view of that line. And we finally got it in there and got him right. Alright guys, that about does it for this haircut tutorial. Make sure you hit me up in that comment section. Let me know if there's anything in this video that you took away from it. That's why I do this channel, is to bring tips and stuff to you guys. Hopefully allow you to pick something up that will help you carry that over to your clients. Consider subscribing if you're new, guys, and enable that notification bell. That way you never miss another haircut from me. Sunday and Wednesday is the schedule as always. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't. And here comes my beautiful daughter. She wanted to make a quick cameo in the video. And until the next video, guys, you know I appreciate it.